Welcome to the Complete Story series where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you, adding in some voices, music, and we try to give you an epic motion comic experience, allowing you to know what is going on in current comic books so that if you are getting into this, you can go buy the next issues or issues surrounding this event and know what is going on. Today we're going to be continuing our coverage of the prequels to Spider-Geddon. These are called The Edge of Spider-Geddon. And today's heroes are going to be an alternate version of Norman Osborn, the superior octopus, which is basically Otto Octavius in Peter Parker's body trying to be a good guy, and the PlayStation 4 Amazing Spider-Man. All great storylines, and I hope you guys enjoy.
On another unknown Earth, Harry Osborne has arrived. The red sports car parked in front of the massive tower that is Oscorp Plaza. Inside, security informs his father that he is on the premises. In his chambers, Norman watches the cameras that fall from the ceiling like webs. In the lobby, Harry is greeted by security. They take his arm and they escort him up. He doesn't argue. In the elevator now, he waits for them to push the button for the penthouse. Then his hands begin to move quickly, pulling out his concealed tasers. The guards fall from the single shock, with the last taking a knuckle duster to the chin. Harry disregards his jacket and steps out of the elevator. He needs something before he meets his father. Back at his chambers, Norman questions why he even bothers with security, his forearms flexing as he climbs down from his platform. The letter that Harry received from his friend Peter told him everything that his father was doing. It told him how to stop him. It told him where the kobold armor was. And donning it now, the mask locked in a wide-toothed grin of the trickster kobolds of myth. Harry slipped through the building silently, finally arriving in his father's inner chamber. Beneath the mask, Harry's eyes go wide. His father, clad in armor, descends from the ceiling, his forearms clinging to the walls. But that doesn't surprise Harry. What does is the wrapped cosmic cube in the center of the room, the broken key to reality that does little more than show images of what might have been, and the images of Peter Parker as the Amazing Spider-Man. Norman Osborn as the villain Green Goblin, and Harry eventually taking over for him. The two fight, father and son trading blows, but even in this enhanced armor, Harry is no match for his father's strength and he falls to the ground beaten and bloodied. Norman stands over him, triumph on his face. Harry's foot comes up, smashing his father in his egg sack and doubling him over. With his last burst of strength, Harry fires a shot from his wrist launcher, the round going over Norman's shoulder, shattering the cosmic cube. In the room is every version of Norman standing there at once, his years of planning ruined by a single moment. Harry's last images is him and his friend Peter, or a version of them. The building then explodes. But Norman isn't dead. The explosion has sent him into the cube, into the very webs that hold the multiverse together, and this is what he wanted. This is how it should have ended. Suddenly, a web line hits his back and he screams, "No!" as he is pulled away by none other than Spider-Punk. And back on Earth 616, Dr. Otto Octavius has taken up residence in San Francisco. Once, he was one of Spider-Man's greatest villains. Then for a short time, he became Spider-Man. But not just Spider-Man, he was the superior Spider-Man, doing the things that the true hero couldn't bring himself to do. Since returning as a clone of his younger self, Otto has decided to try and become an even better hero, the superior octopus. The bus travels down the street on a quiet night, and with that, the conversations have ended by a shovel being thrown through the front window. Shocked, the driver swerves and the bus begins to tip over. The roof is suddenly peeled away, and the patrons are shocked to see the supervillains Digger, Danse Macabre, Skine, Waxman, and the Brothers Grimm. The villains begin to collect everyone's valuables as they're attacked, but the superior octopus arrives on the scene, his arms throwing the Brothers Grimm away, while the Digger is blinded by his ink shooters. The villains don't even stand a chance. Otto stands already triumphant as his mechanical arms do most of the work. He had prepared for this fight by modifying the arms to fight each of these villains' powers, and they were quickly defeated. Instead of arresting them though, Otto makes them an offer. Work for him as his agents in protecting the city, and they will earn more than they could ever steal. They agree, and Otto heads back into the night. Returning to his base just as the sun comes up, he doesn't have much time though, and he quickly changes. When not superheroing, Otto is Professor Tolliver at Horizon University. All of his crime-fighting and supervillain past can't prepare Otto for what's about to happen, though. Running into his ex-girlfriend. Well, actually, it's Peter Parker's ex-girlfriend from when Otto was living inside of Peter Parker's brain. Otto still has feelings for her, but since they've never actually dated, it's hard for him to work with her every day. Later that night, the superior octopus has just managed to save some civilians from a bridge collapsing. While a hero now, Otto still finds it difficult to get away from his former supervillain ways, and it doesn't help when he's questioned by the local authorities about his past. Returning to his base of operations, Otto is surprised to find Arnim Zola and the members of Hydra waiting him, the members that he once worked with when he was taking down Parker Industries. Zola is eager to continue working with Otto to bring back the glorious return of Hydra, but Otto's a hero now, right? And he wants nothing to do with Hydra. Once one is Hydra, one remains Hydra, until death! The Hydra agents open fire, forcing Otto to leap into action, his arms making quick work of the Hydra goons though, leaving only him and Zola until he is struck from behind. Spinning back, he's shocked to see the Gorgon, or at least a life model decoy of the villain. The samurai faces against Otto with mechanical arms clashing against katana steel. Even a fake Gorgon is fast though, and one of Otto's limbs is quickly severed. The two trade blows with Otto's arms giving him the upper hand, and eventually one of the bladed tips slashes the ribbon away from Gorgon's eyes. Too late though, as Otto realizes his mistakes, because the Gorgon's eyes are his greatest weapons. Otto tries to react, but he feels his limbs growing heavy as his body turns to stone. By Zola's order, the Gorgon swings his blade, smashing the statue of Otto to pieces, filling the room with the dust of Otto's former body. So end the enemies of Hydra, Zola gloats, with Otto's head in his hands. But from the dust, a blade swings, severing the head of the Gorgon. The dust clears, revealing the superior octopus standing, with the Gorgon's head clutched in the grip of one of his mechanical arms. Impossible! Zola screams, shock showing on his digitized face. The Hydra members try to stop Otto, a blast of energy shooting from his head cannon. But Otto is too fast, springing across the room on his metal arms. With quick movements, he tears Zola's body to pieces, ridding himself of the enemy. But how did he survive? How has he returned to us, you may be asking yourself? Staring at his cloning machines, which use the technology that he took from the war against the Inheritors during the Spider-Verse. Nothing can stop him now. He is immortal. He is superior. Who can stand against an ever-cloning superior octopus? Well, on Earth-01, known as the Loom World, the Inheritors have heard the signal of their technology. Using the tech from the Spider Army, they begin to send out their own signal, looking for their own escape. On Earth 1048, sweeping around the city, Spider-Man's ears are assaulted by the rantings of J. Jonah Jameson over his podcast. Why do I torture myself? But that torture quickly ends when Mary Jane calls him instead. It's not a quick call from a girlfriend, though. It seems like the newsroom just got a tip about a spider-themed villain robbing a bank. The last thing Spidey needs is bad publicity, and so he swings into action. Arriving on the scene, Spider-Man is greeted by the Tarantula, a villain armed with mechanical arms. The two begin to fight, and Spidey dodges the Tarantula's arms while using his web bombs on him. Before he can deliver the finishing blow, however, he's interrupted by the superior Spider-Man. Not sure why a second spider-based villain has appeared, the two begin to trade blows. But with a spider sense and heightened agility, keeping the both of them from even touching each other, Spider-Man finally realizes that this man, the superior Spider-Man, is another hero. Unfortunately, this gives the Tarantula just enough time to free himself. Two Spider-Men working together isn't always a good idea, because then the two of them begin to get into each other's ways, becoming trapped in a web bomb. Finally freeing themselves, both Spider-Men retreat to the rooftop so they can finally talk. So the superior Spider-Man fills in this Peter Parker on the cliff notes as to how we've gotten here. There's alternate realities, there are hundreds of Spider-Men, and there are Inheritors, vampire creatures trying to steal the energy of Spider people. It's a lot to take in. And the fact that Superior Spider-Man is also actually Otto Octavius is kind of thrown into the mix. But it's nice knowing that in another world, Otto Octavius, the mentor for this Spider-Man, isn't just a villain that betrayed Peter in the past, but he does have the ability to become a hero. Peter understands that the Spider Army needs him, that the Inheritors are returning, but he can't just abandon his world. He needs to stop the Tarantula. Superior understands and he agrees to help. Catching up with the Tarantula, the two Spider-Men work better this time, attacking the villain. Tarantula's well armed though, and the two can't get through his defenses. Luckily, Otto knows a thing or two about mechanical arms, and using his sophisticated spider bots, he overrides the Tarantula's mental link with his weapons. With the supervillain defeated, Peter has to make a few stops, and he checks in with Miles Morales, a friend who has been developing his own set of powers. His girlfriend, Mary Jane, whom he shares a loving embrace with before going off to war. With this taken care of, he joins Otto Octavius, traveling through the multiverse to stop the Spider-Geddon.
Are you ready to rumble? because Spider-Geddon is coming to this channel very soon, and that's going to be a lot of Spider-Verse individuals fighting against the Inheritors once again. Now, what did you guys think of that Amazing Spider-Man PS4 guy? Because I loved that story because it's like a sequel to the main game and we get to see what's going on a little bit more. Plus, that Spider-Man is getting his own comic book very soon, along with Superior Octopus getting the book Superior Spider-Man. But if you want to know how that happened, make sure you subscribe to our channel, because we're going to be covering Spider-Geddon very soon, which features all of these crazy spider people in a crazy Spider-Man adventure. And we're also going to be doing a lot more Spider-Man because he's awesome. I'll see you guys next time right here.